In the golden glow of 1940s Hollywood, few actresses captured mystery and beauty like Jane Greer. With her hypnotic eyes and calm intensity, she could command the screen with just a glance. But behind the elegance and fame was a life filled with personal battles, heartbreak, and eventual seclusion. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more classic Hollywood stories.
You just fall, it just happens to happen, that's all.
Born Betta Jane Greer on September 9, 1924, in Washington, D.C., Jane Greer was the daughter of a businessman and homemaker. At just 15, she suffered from Bell's palsy, temporarily paralyzing one side of her face. Though she recovered, the experience gave her a uniquely calm and composed expression, which would later become her signature on screen. Her path to Hollywood began with beauty pageants and modeling, leading to a feature in Life magazine and a contract with RKO Pictures, thanks to producer Howard Hughes. But Greer was more than just a beautiful face. She possessed a quiet power and sophistication that was perfect for the film noir era. Her breakthrough came with Out of the Past, 1947, a film that became a defining moment in both her career and in film noir history.
You know, you're a curious man.
You're gonna make every guy you meet a little bit curious.
It's not what I mean. You don't ask questions. You don't even ask me what my name is.
All right, what's your name?
In Out of the Past, 1947, IMDb rating 8.0, Greer delivered her most iconic performance as Kathy Moffat, a mysterious and dangerous woman who draws Robert Mitchum's character into a web of lies, double crosses, and murder. Her portrayal was subtle yet chilling, never overtly emotional, but quietly manipulative. Critics hailed her as the definitive femme fatale, with the New York Times calling her silken and sinister. Modern film scholars often place this film among the greatest examples of film noir, thanks largely to Greer's unforgettable presence.
El señor no entiende. Vamos deprisa a casarnos.
Oh, a casarse. Muchas felicidades.
Gracias.
What you congratulating us for?
In The Big Steal, 1949, IMDb rating 6.8, she played Joan Graham, a sharp and resourceful woman on the trail of a con man who swindled her fiancé. Reuniting with Mitchum, Greer displayed a more lighthearted charm while still maintaining her edge. Unlike the cold Kathy Moffat, Joan was witty, courageous, and actively helped solve the mystery. Variety described her performance as fresh and engaging, and praised the on-screen chemistry between her and Mitchum. In They Won't Believe Me, 1947, IMDb rating 7.1, Greer appeared as Janice Bell, a wealthy and independent woman entangled in a love triangle with a morally weak man, played by Robert Young. Though a supporting role, Greer brought nuance and emotional restraint, portraying Janice as more than just a romantic interest. Critics appreciated the depth she gave to the character, especially in a film filled with betrayal and psychological manipulation.
What happened?
He wanted to be my cousin.
And she hasn't any aunts or uncles.
In Station West, 1948, IMDb rating 6.9, she starred as Charlie, a saloon owner and secretly the mastermind behind a string of gold robberies. Paired opposite Dick Powell, Greer blended danger with allure in a noir Western setting. Reviewers noted her icy poise and mysterious elegance, which made her character a standout among typical Western femme roles. Charlie was intelligent, calculated, and far from a damsel in distress. In You're in the Navy Now, 1951, IMDb rating 6.5, Greer took a supporting role as Ellie, the wife of a young naval officer. Though the film was a military comedy focused on the ship's male crew, Greer's warmth and grace added human depth and levity to the narrative. While critics didn't dwell heavily on her role, her charm and screen presence provided a welcome balance to the otherwise male-heavy ensemble. Later in her career, Greer made a nostalgic return in Against All Odds, 1984. IMDb rating 5.9, a loose remake of Out of the Past. This time, she played Mrs. Weiler, the mother of the female lead. Though a small part, her casting was symbolic, a nod to her legendary performance decades earlier. Critics viewed her appearance with fondness, and her performance was seen as graceful and dignified, showing the lasting power of her screen presence. Jane Greer's off-screen life was as dramatic and complicated as some of the femme fatale roles she played on screen. She had a striking beauty that attracted attention early on. However, her personal life, especially her dealings with billionaire Howard Hughes, became a long and difficult chapter that impacted her both personally and professionally. Jane Greer first came into Howard Hughes' orbit in the early 1940s. After winning beauty contests and modeling, she caught the eye of the eccentric aviation tycoon and Hollywood mogul. Hughes, who had a habit of collecting beautiful women, signed her to a contract at RKO Studios, which he controlled. Initially, Hughes promised her stardom, and she was cast in small roles. But Greer quickly became one of the many women who felt trapped under Hughes' controlling behavior. He was reportedly obsessive, manipulative, and interfered with her career choices and personal decisions. Greer claimed that Hughes tried to isolate her from others, micromanaging both her professional and social life. In 1943, she married crooner and big band singer Rudy Vallee, partly to escape Hughes's grip. Hughes was enraged by this and used his influence to stall her career. The marriage to Vallee was short-lived. Greer divorced him in 1944, but Hughes continued to make life difficult for her, attempting to blacklist her from other studios or sabotage projects she pursued. It was only when she left Hughes' control and began working with other studios that her career truly took off. Her breakout role in Out of the Past, 1947, came after distancing herself from Hughes and RKO. Jane Greer's second marriage was to Edward Lasker, a wealthy Los Angeles attorney and film producer. They married in 1947 and had 3 sons together, including producer and screenwriter Alex Lasker. This marriage was far more stable and lasted until their divorce in 1967. During this period, Greer largely stepped away from Hollywood to focus on her family. She later said she had no regrets about pausing her career for motherhood, though it meant losing out on many key roles during the golden age of Hollywood. After a strong run of film noir classics in the late 1940s and early 1950s, including The Big Steal, 1949, and The Company She Keeps, 1951, Greer's career began to cool down. She made sporadic appearances in films and turned more to television, appearing in shows like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Twilight Zone, and Falcon Crest. In 1984, Greer had a poignant full-circle moment when she appeared in Against All Odds, a remake of Out of the Past, playing the mother of the character she originally portrayed in 1947. It was a subtle but powerful nod to her legacy. In her later years, Jane Greer lived a relatively quiet life away from the public eye. She remained active in television into the 1980s, but gradually retired from acting. She passed away on August 24, 2001, in Los Angeles, California, from cancer, just a few weeks before her 77th birthday. Jane Greer is best remembered for her role as Kathy Moffat in Out of the Past, where her performance as a cold, manipulative femme fatale set a standard in film noir. Critics and fans have praised her subtle, intelligent style of acting that brought depth and complexity to characters who could have easily become caricatures. Though her career was not as prolific as some of her contemporaries, partly due to her clashes with Hughes and her time away for family, Greer remains a beloved figure in classic Hollywood cinema. Her story is one of strength and independence in an era when actresses often had little control over their careers. Jane Greer's beauty was both striking and enigmatic, the kind that captivated audiences without ever needing to shout for attention. Her cool elegance, expressive eyes, and poised demeanor made her a natural fit for film noir, where mystery and allure were essential. She wasn't just a pretty face. Her beauty carried a quiet strength that mirrored the resilience she showed in real life, a true classic in every sense. For more timeless Hollywood stories, don't forget to subscribe to Sajjad Classic.